This ongoing franchise fraud is such a huge story that it should be front page news. But guess who pays millions to the media for advertising? Of course, franchises. I wrote this book 6 years ago. It covers widespread franchise fraud and how the bad franchises dupe unsuspecting buyers. Now, for almost 11 years, we've been here on YouTube warning investors of the specific dangers here in the franchise world, and nothing has changed. Every single year, still to this day, hundreds more people lose everything to franchises that they thought were a great investment. And I've spoken with hundreds of ex-franchise owners that over the years have lost everything. Most people would be shocked at their experiences. We actually have some of those interviews right here on the channel. Now, keep in mind there are good franchises, but for many buyers, they'll never find them. As often the bad franchises, they're the ones that advertise very aggressively and make the boldest claims. So the first major danger buyers need to be aware of is the obscene amount of money that is paid to franchise sellers and the lack of regulation in the industry. There are thousands of what are called franchise consultants around the country. These are independent operators that buy your data from major online franchise portal sites when you complete a form requesting information on a particular franchise. Now, anyone can become a consultant, even an ex-convict, doesn't matter, and they can buy your data. They can call you in response to your inquiry on that franchise. They can get you motivated on this next hot franchise opportunity by saying anything that they want to. And some franchises pay consultants up to 100% of the franchise fee because the franchise companies, they make money from royalties. Franchise fees, they can easily be $30,000 to $60,000 or more. So you can see why unethical people would lie through their teeth to earn a $50,000 commission on a single deal. Now, there's no oversight here at all, and this situation happens every day across the entire USA. So be aware if you fill out a form on one of these websites, in most cases, it's not going to be the franchise that calls you back, but an independent operator. They might call themselves a consultant, a coach, whatever the case may be. They might be good, or they could be really bad and dangerous to deal with. Now, some people think, well, if they lie to me and I buy the franchise, I'll just sue them. Well, here's the problem with that. When you bought the franchise, you signed what's called an entire agreement clause. That's hidden in the fine print of the 300-page or more document stating only what is in that agreement is considered legally binding and valid. Nothing that was said verbally actually counts. And this has created a loophole, or you might say even a license to lie, for unscrupulous sellers who can earn $100,000 a month or more in their pajamas selling these high commission, lousy franchises by using fake claims and lies. Even many high profile franchise companies themselves have been caught lying in order to make a sale. Now, some of these have ended up in jail, but only the most blatant cases. Most franchises, they know exactly how far they can take it and still remain legal. Now, a lot of people also say, I will simply buy an established, well-known franchise, then I will be safe. So many buyers choose these big names of legacy franchises, assuming that they are a safe investment. And for many years, way back, many buyers asked us about Subway franchises, as it was the largest and arguably most successful in the world. Now, we've covered Subway for over a decade here on the channel. We were one of the first outlets to disclose the thousands of stores Subway was closing every single year. Now, today, that information is much more well known, but keep in mind, just because a brand is big does not mean it is safe. Quiznos, another example of a very well-known franchise brand that lost thousands of stores and it was embroiled in multiple lawsuits. Just last week, I'm thinking of it, Exponential Brands, the world's largest franchisor of boutique fitness studios. Those include Club Pilates, Stretch Lab, Pure Barre, Yoga 6, and BFT. They're also the recipient of some of the most prestigious awards in franchising. They just agreed to pay over $40 million in settlements after an FTC investigation and complaints from over 500 ex and existing franchisees. Now, this is pretty big news, right? But did you hear about this? No. These stories are very often pushed down by the media companies who have close ties with franchises that spend millions of dollars on advertising. Burger Rim, that was another media darling, big name. They sold tens of millions of dollars worth of franchises by lying to buyers, claiming that they were the hottest franchise until they also were sued by the FTC. We covered the story of Burger Rim years ago. New York Bagel, that's an extremely rare case where the CEO actually went to jail. So just because the franchise is big, just because it's well known, does not mean that it is safe. Another very common mistake a lot of people make is not reading or understanding the FDD or the franchise disclosure document. Many buyers assume the agreement must be safe and just sign. They've got hundreds of other franchisees and they just sign that document without understanding it. Hidden in these agreements, however, are dangers like the liquidated damages clause. And liquidated damages, they're supposed to protect franchise companies from buyers who abandon their store. Now, for unscrupulous franchises, it actually gives them a massive additional revenue stream. So how this works, you open your franchise, you make no money, and you end up having to close the store. With liquidated damages, you're actually held liable for months of royalties that the franchise would have made even after you close your store. Buyers, beyond that, they don't fully understand the basic terms, your obligations, your legal recourses available if something goes wrong, or dozens of other often one-sided elements of the franchise agreement that can definitely harm you. Speaking of awards, you've probably seen these all over the internet. Fastest growing franchise, best franchise in a specific vertical. There's dozens of these, if I may say, useless awards that are often just pay for play. Franchises can just buy an award. We just showed Exponential before, a company accused of mis-selling franchises and sued by hundreds of its own franchisees. Here they are, front page of their website, proudly showing their multiple franchise 500 awards on their front page. Now, we covered these awards and why you must not ever listen to them in a previous video, so I won't get into any great detail. Suffice it to say, people lose millions every year because of this false sense of security just because a franchise won one of these supposedly prestigious awards. These awards, they include dozens of franchise companies that have high failure rates, low franchisee satisfaction, and even fraud lawsuits. And I'll place that link above if you want to watch the full video. Dark Side of Franchising, that's a free download if you have Kindle Unlimited, or get it on our website as a download. And if you need help finding the good franchises, always give Franchise Inspectors Broker Group a call. I'll place that link above. Thanks for watching.